we should. Now it should automatically. It takes a second.
Oh, okay.
Once it gets in there.
Okay.
There it is. Should pop up for you right there now.
Negative.
So we're talking NFL. Make sure you turn your sound off on your phone too, so it doesn't come through. NFL, college football, MLB, and NHL.
Yeah, big day.
We're hitting the sports equinox, bro. Everything.
Yes,
NBA starts Tuesday.
Great time of the fucking year. I could live without NBA, but college basketball is amazing.
True. I forgot you're a huge college guy. Yeah, we'll have to do college basketball streams because waking up, especially on those big Saturdays, like there's nothing better than having 1,000 games to bet.
College basketball Saturdays, I'm working from like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah. NFL, college football, MLB, and NHL. JV. Boom. All right. You should have got that
Yes.
tag just now. Sweet. And then if you want to throw that on your IG, Telegram, or whatever you plan on, I'm going to throw it on our Discord as well right now. Awesome. Chat, if you're in here, drop some plays in the chat. We'll go over it. If there's anything good, might tell. But we've got a ton of insight coming from JV. We got a bunch of games tonight. His card is loaded, so there's going to be
biggest day of the week for me so far.
Let's go.
By far.
Well, I'm glad we have, obviously playoff baseball right now. I'm casting the game. I can't actually watch it. But we've got a bunch of NHL. We'll see, decent college football games, but it's good we have all this action with a potentially terrible Thursday night football game.
Yeah.
But, with the NFL, it's always like the game everybody thinks is ugly turns into like either the best game to bet on or the most entertaining game.
Exactly. With the way this season's been going, that's exactly the case. Especially with this low total, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it was sitting at 37 last time I looked, which is disgusting.
It opened at 37.5, and there's been like no movement on the total, even though the side moved like 3, 4, 5 points, 5.5 points.
I wonder if that has to do with I gotta look at some of these pass catchers for New Orleans because Rashid Shaheed is out for the year now. Chris Olave out with a concussion. It's just like I did take Alvin Kamara passing or receiving yards. Shout out A1 Fantasy for that one. But that was the only one that I liked from the prop board so far. But I might have to look at some of these like 3rd, 4th, 5th string wide receivers.
Maybe a good night to take a kicker props over.
Ooh, 3.5 field goals in prime time. That is always like super consistent. We're live on Twitter. Everyone. All right. Sweet. Okay. Well, I've pushed this link out. I think you've sent it out as well. We got 130 people going, so I think we just get right into it at this point.
No shit, we got 130 people already. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah. I gotta drop your DubClub link underneath. By the way, guys, you're gonna hear a ton of information tonight from JV. His DubClub is right underneath the stream. Okay, this guy is sharp as hell. I met him in Chicago. What was that? Like 2 months ago? 6?
No, it wasn't that long ago. Was it? It was like a month ago, right?
Was it a month ago? I'm losing track of time, dude. This time of the year, I got no clue where we're at. But
5 weeks ago.
I met him in person. The dude is sharp as hell. He walked me through some of his process, and it's just like the amount of detail that goes into it was super impressive. So I want to bring him on here and show you guys who may not be as familiar with him on Twitter exactly what he's all about. Because I would say you're IG native. You're a little bit more of an Instagram guy.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been on Twitter for a while, but I was more on the money Twitter side. I wasn't really promoting a lot of my stuff on Twitter. I was more so just like networking, making connections, like making friends and stuff like that. Wasn't really promoting the gambling stuff crazy. I mean, here and there and stuff, I post about it. But yeah, I haven't really been tweeting about it and getting into like recaps and specifics and stuff until recently.
Yeah, and we're glad you are because, Instagram is great. It's an awesome platform to – I think it's good for recaps. I think it's good for that kind of stuff. But the conversation is on Gambling Twitter, Gambling X.
Yeah.
I think if you're in this space, you got to participate on Twitter. There's some people who never will and have great success, but I think it's just the best for building community and actually being able to engage with people versus kind of like talking about stuff after the fact. So we're glad that you're making a push on here.
Absolutely true. I definitely love engaging with people recently about everything and breaking stuff down, talking to people what they see, what I see, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm sure your subscribers love it. I know you get a little bit active in the Telegram with them, but hearing you go through your process, I mean, I learned a lot from you in a short amount of time, so I can't imagine what your subscribers are getting. So maybe I'll have to get in there. But you sent me, it looks like 5 games that you either have plays on, leans, or just looking at with, potentially seeing a little bit of value in there. I think most people in here are probably interested in the free play that you talked about earlier. We'll get to that here in probably 15, 20. Which game was that for, by the way? Just so I don't.
What, the free play?
Yeah.
We'll put that. I'll do the free play in the first hockey game I sent you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll start with Thursday Night Football. I imagine most people that are in this stream right now are in here to talk a little bit of Thursday Night Football. Even though this game could be an absolute stinker, like we talked about earlier, sometimes those turn into the most fun games, and sometimes those turn into people cashing just crazy bets. So there's always value when a bunch of starters are out and you're getting these second, third-string guys who finally get their opportunities. You can catch at high odds. But we got Saints-Broncos tonight. New Orleans is the favorite at -3. The total is 37. They're looking like this might be a stinker, but I don't know. Could be fun. Do you have any action on this? Any thoughts? Any leans? Anything?
Wasn't there? I feel like there was a run last season, maybe like 3, 4, 5 weeks straight, where the Thursday night game just sucked every single week, like five weeks in a row. It was just like the worst teams, the lowest scoring teams.
Every year there feels like a stretch where it's like, why do we do Thursday Night Football? Like either a bunch of people are getting injured, or like it's just something where it's like, why do we do these games? And then we have good games. We're like, oh wait, midweek football that's good is actually like awesome.
Yeah, even if the game's shit, people are going to tune into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, yeah, crazy thing about this football game is Denver opened up as a 2.5-point dog like a week ago. It was like last Tuesday. I saw the Westgate had Denver plus 2.5. Obviously, that line is now reversed. I saw some books have -2.5, -3, which is crazy. It's a massive difference if you're taking the favorite. If you're laying 2.5 points or 3 points, it's a huge difference. And that's something I preach to my clients all the time about line shopping. Like if you only have one book, if you only have a DraftKings account, you only have a FanDuel account, you are completely a slave to whatever lines that book has. And especially these retail books like DraftKings and FanDuel, these books that haven't been around a long time, people love them because their interface is easy to use and they offer a lot of props. They offer a million same-game parlays. They kill you on the juice. If you want to buy half a point or a point on a total or a side, they're hammering you with juice that you're not going to lay if you're betting MGM or Caesars or Circa or William Hill or any of these other books that are originated in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. It really is the interface. It's fun, You look at some of these DFS apps. Like I think a lot of the success from Prize Picks, Underdog, some of these apps are really just because it's fun to place the actual bets. It's like the dopamine hits of seeing, the recaps of hitting a bet or just even placing it are so good. And you're completely right. Like if you don't shop odds, that's a good way to put it. You really are held hostage to whatever they want you to bet. and they're going to offer the boosts and the free bet, the no sweat tokens to kind of get your mind shifted as, oh, they're giving me something. When in reality, they're just going to throw those out there to get you to bet more and more and more. So yeah, if you're not shopping your odds, you're missing out on a ton of money. And long term, it's already super hard to be profitable as a sports bettor. If you're not getting better odds and shopping odds, it gets way harder. So
people are betting
great
into
advice.
people are betting into these bad lines all the time, and they don't even know that it adds up to units every single month.
Yeah.
Possibly units every single week, depending on the volume that you're betting. But yeah, I see cappers post those all the time. You know, it's literally a dopamine hit when people see a plus 1,500 parlay, a plus 2,000 odds parlay, and people are like, I want to do that, I want to do that. And I'll rarely bet. If I bet those, it's for fun. It's because, you know, I have like $15,000 on my VIP player personal play that day, and I'll throw in a parlay for $200, $300, $400, where it's nothing. And so if I ever post any of those on my stories, I'll get DMs from people that they don't want to make money straight betting. They don't want to actually make an income month after month, year after year. They just want to hit a lottery ticket parlay that night, which is crazy to me. But I look at
everybody bets for different reasons, you know. And I think one thing that everybody who loves parlays, myself included, like I've been betting for a long time, and you know, I love the good long shots. I'm always there. I'll sweat something with the buddies or whatever. But it's like if you're really trying to do something with it, we put out a video earlier of John Hyslop, shout out Slop. He said the straights pay for the parlays. You know, you cannot build a bankroll betting parlays. Some people have hit a stroke of luck and it's different. And some people do some of these 2-mans, and you know, some people can grab value. I personally cannot, and most people cannot. But if you want to bet parlays, don't just keep throwing your money into your book and then, oh, that parlay loses, let me deposit again next week. It's like, take some straights in between, have a little bit of discipline with your units, and then let that profit, if you want to play parlays, be the unit that you put on a parlay or the quarter unit, whatever. So I think it's just, you know, this is always going to be a lotto ticket type thing. Everybody wants to gamble. Everybody wants the money overnight. But you're somebody who preaches long-term strategy and actually making money, and you live exclusively off of your sports betting. So you can actually preach that.
If I only bet parlays, I think we wouldn't be on this call right now, but I would probably be like living under a bridge if I only bet parlays, man. Like even a quarter unit, I couldn't imagine putting like $2,000 on like crazy long shot parlays. Like that's
and to even say that they'll let you get that down, they'll take
that on.
It depends, depends on the book.
If you're throwing in a Hail Mary, most of them will take it.
Well, we got a couple chats in here I'd love to get to before the game, real quick. Before they hop out, obviously we got some people shouting you out. Brother Lobo, Tim, Lewis is in the chat. Shout out Lou, Nikki. What's up, Nikki the Greek? Cade in here. Cade with a testimonial. I've been betting with JV for a long time, and he's one of the sharpest bettors I know, man. Hit him up. Promise you won't be disappointed. That's a real one right there. Shout out Cade.
Caden who? Caden Jaramello?
Cade Morehouse.
Oh, Caden Moore. Shout out my guy. He just asked me right as we jumped on the call. He asked me who I think is winning the World Series. Which when we get into the baseball, when we get into Yankee games, we'll talk about that. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll get into it. And then shout out to Mario Wright. Shout out, Lewis is in here. Lou, say Jay is the real deal. Lou knows, obviously. Prop Bomb, who you met when you were here. Jordan, awesome dude. He's in the chat right now. He actually just announced his DubClub today. Oh, yeah, right. Prop Bomb has a play. I personally don't know much about it. He says he kind of likes Lucas Kroll tonight. He saw a career-high route participation last week and is playing in place of Dulcich, which is the Denver tight end. What are my thoughts? I don't have a thought on that, but if Prop Bomb is telling me that some second or third string tight end has a very high route participation, I'm probably going to tail it. That's a guy who knows.
I've noticed a lot of people that are just only betting props are really throwing darts. But I looked into Prop Bomb stuff, and he's one of the few guys that when it comes to props, he seems like he's really doing his research and he really knows what he's talking about when it comes to props. He's not trying to take any shortcuts. Seems like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, smart guy, for sure. Well, I guess speaking of Thursday Night Football, let's get into it. What are you seeing in that game tonight with New Orleans being a 3-point favorite, total at 37?
I'm seeing, so besides for that crazy line moving on Denver, I'm actually seeing a same split that I just posted this on my story yesterday. So yesterday I had Western Kentucky plus 3. They closed at +1, and I'm seeing like the same split between the money and ticket distribution that I saw last night, and that was a winner for us last night. I'm seeing 77% of the cash on Denver, and I'm seeing 52% of the tickets on New Orleans, which is for me that's a green flag right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So are you officially on anything tonight?
I'm officially on a lot of shit tonight. We have a loaded slate tonight, but I am officially on a play in this NFL game for just a quarter unit.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, he gave you some of the insight as to why he's making the decision, guys, and it's based off of public money, sharp money, number of bets. These are the type of numbers that he's looking at all the time, and kind of speaks to why DubClub exists, because he is literally, and he talked to me about his process, he's in the lab all day, guys. Like, you see that whiteboard behind him? I bet a couple hours ago that thing was filled of different plays and stats and things that he's looking at.
I have to erase the whiteboard every time I make a video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can't give out all the. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think there's a reason that Denver line opened as a 2.5-point dog, and later that same day, I believe it was the 8th. I believe it was last Tuesday. That game was a pick'em.
Yeah.
And then obviously Denver took off, and now they're the 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, and so if you don't have time to actually monitor that type of line movement and where the money is going, subscribe to JV. The link is right underneath the stream. Well, you gave me a couple games to go through. I do have a play for this. I did mention it earlier. Shout out A1 Fantasy. Al Kamara over receiving yards. Got to give that one out.
What's that line?
But that was 16.5, 17.5 last time I looked.
Wow.
Which felt low with all the receivers out. So
yeah, absolutely.
I really liked that. Yeah, I really liked that one. But actually, Yankees just went up 1-0. So if you guys are watching this right now, don't switch over to the baseball game. Stay and stream with us. But hopefully that game gets good. But moving on, speaking of baseball, we got Dodgers Mets tonight. Dodgers are absolutely loaded. Obviously, Mets are what feels like a team of destiny. Speaking from a narrative perspective. LA is the favorite at -125 right now. The total's at 7. This is the last time I checked. It could have moved a little bit, but are you looking at anything for this game? Starts at 7 o'clock, I believe, Central.
No, I saw the total of the Yankee game open at 8, and despite 70% plus of the cash and the tickets being on the over, that game jumped down to 7.5, and it closed at 7. But this Mets team is just a completely different team than they were in the regular season. I mean, obviously, the Mets are always dealing with injuries. I don't know what it is with these retards, but they are just playing with a ton of heart this postseason. They're putting up runs so sporadically. It's just not the same Mets team during the regular season. I remember betting on the Mets a handful of times this year, and they were just all over the place in terms of consistency. They were just so inconsistent. But I watched that game last night, and it's insane that Walker Buehler opened up as a dog against the Mets. And, this is a guy that was pitching better than Kershaw just 2 years ago for the Dodgers, and they're obviously stacked with talent. But it was crazy to see how nobody could touch, even if they had softball bats, could not touch his curveball last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honestly, like, this series has felt very weird. I'm not huge into baseball from a betting perspective. In the postseason, I just like to watch and enjoy these games because they feel so all over the place for me, and I feel like I'd never get it right. Are you on anything officially for this game?
For that Mets game?
No. Yeah.
Nothing in that Mets game.
Yeah, that feels like it could go either way there.
Good game 7. To watch. No value in that game for me.
Yeah, totally. And I will be watching. For all the haters out there that say I don't watch baseball, I've started to watch some more baseball. I'm getting there. People are bringing me around.
Good to watch.
Yeah. But, NHL season started last week officially, and you sent me over 3 games. So I'll start with the first one. Looks like Sabres and Blue Jackets. Sabres are -140. The total is 6.5. What are you looking at for this game?
Hockey is back. Yes.
Yep.
Minus 140, 6.5. Sabres had a 3-1 lead last night. I don't know what's going on with my laptop here. Sabres had a 3-1 lead last night in the first period, blew it on a back-to-back. Now they are in Columbus playing the Blue Jackets. And this is another split with the money and tickets. Mirrors that NFL game, mirrors that college play we hit yesterday. And this is looking like 88% of the cash is on the under in this game, and 59% of the tickets are on the over. And I don't think they've completely sold out, but they are line shading that under. You know, they didn't move it down to 6 or 5.5, but they're line shading that under. And that is going to be our free play tonight. We're going with the Buffalo Sabres, Columbus Blue Jackets, under 6.5.
Under 6.5, guys. If you joined this stream for that free play, there it is. Sabres Blue Jackets under 6.5. Yeah. But stay in because he's going to give some more thoughts on some more NHL games.
We got a lot of game coming. That
we got a lot. We got a lot. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm going to blindly tail it. I have zero insight or anything to add to this, and that's why I trust guys like you, because you do research that I can't even process from the outside. So I will be blindly tailing that, and if you're in the chat, I recommend tailing that as well, because the dude knows exactly what he's talking about.
Don't bet your
all
whole
right,
thing on.
Yeah, no. Be responsible. Manage your units. Always. Don't be like me, somebody who bets emotionally. Bet responsibly and smart. Unit management. All right, the next game you sent me, Islanders Blues. Islanders are the favorite at minus 145 on the money line. The total is sitting at 6. What do you got for me tonight?
Minus 145, right? So the Islanders opened up. They had a great win against the Avalanche, which I think a lot of sharps and a lot of the public was on the Colorado Avalanche the other night to get their first win at home. They could not come through. Horrible start to the season for the Avalanche. I made a bunch of money off the Avalanche last year. I love the Avalanche. I'm not a fan. I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I just love teams that make me a lot of money. I love the Avalanche last year. They were cashing me left and right. And the New York Islanders opened up at minus 120, minus 115. I think it was Bet Online had minus 115. And within a couple hours, that game moved into the 30s. And now you see minus 140, minus 145 for the Islanders. And you're seeing a little bit similar distribution. We got 93% of the cash on the Islanders, but still 81% of the tickets also on the Islanders on this game. 93% of the cash, that's a lot of money, especially on for a dog that's not that big of a dog. But that's something that tends to be a green flag in my book when you're looking at splits. That's why I sent you these games, because these all actually have a pretty similar distribution when it comes to money percentage and bet percentage. So that Islander line shot up very early, and I think it was for a reason.
And do you question for you on when you're giving plays out? How much of this analysis are you giving with your plays? Are you just giving the plays and it's big trust that, hey, I've done the research, I've gone through everything, or are you giving a little bit of rationale for these plays when you're giving them out?
When I send my plays out on DubClub, I give zero analysis. That's why I started going heavier with the Instagram content. That's why I made the YouTube channel, so I can really dive into it and help people change their mindset, understand why I'm taking plays, how we're finding value, what is value. And yeah, I don't give any sort of crazy written analysis, because I mean, I have systems on 95% of the games we play anyway, and I'm not listing out obviously my systems and everything for people on DubClub. I'll have clients DM me questions about plays, and the answer to their questions at the bottom of the message. So some people don't even read the whole message when I send it out. So I think putting a whole long written analysis would be a waste of time.
Yeah, and a lot of the time people just want to play. They just want a winner. I mean, I think what you're doing with a content split is great, where you can give a little bit of extra analysis or insight as to how you're actually doing it. But, the purpose of Telegram, DubClub Plays app, these different distribution methods that we use to get plays into people's hands is so, hey, I'm at my job right now. I have no time to look at this stuff. Oh, okay. You're on, Sabres Blue Jackets under. Cool. Let me get that in real quick. I think some people enjoy that kind of analysis, but if you're looking to really hear more of his mindset, it's going to be in his video content on YouTube, Instagram, and hopefully we get some of that on Twitter as well.
Absolutely,
Because you know me, I'm always
And
pushing for Twitter.
I love sharing this information, and this is something I've never really done in the past. I've never really like broken down and went in depth about this stuff, but I've had so many clients just mismanage units, blow up their bankroll, chasing, doing everything that I used to do when I was kind of an amateur. So now I definitely see the purpose to this content, not necessarily with the plays I send out every single day, but with daily videos, a lot of breakdowns on my Telegram, breakdowns on Instagram, and the YouTube videos, the longer form YouTube videos I've been putting out, cover a lot of this stuff. And I think it's super, super helpful. I wish there was content like this. I started betting when I was 14. That I didn't know any of the stuff that I know now. Not even close. Even when I was 20, 21, it was a huge jump between then and now. So this content that I'm putting out now can truly help people, even if they're not on my plays or a client of mine, can truly help them become a better sports bettor and a more profitable sports bettor and become a little sharper.
Yeah, I appreciate that too because, I've been betting for a long time as well, and I've learned a lot of lessons just by reps, just volume, just doing it of, oh, that was stupid, I'm not going to do that again. And it's really awesome that you're like, hey, guys, I've learned these lessons already. Let me just tell you what I've already learned so you can save yourself the units, save yourself the stress of going through what you went through by just doing it and living through it. Also, shout out Cortez. He's in here. He said loved the YouTube videos. So clearly there's some love there.
Yeah, dude, lot of game in the YouTube videos, bro, and it's boring because today's day and age, man, the sports betting content that's out here, it's some dude stands in front of a Lambo and is like, you should bet your whole entire paycheck on this play tonight,
right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And it's like the real information that's actually going to help you make money in the long term, be sharper, be happier, have better plays, be more profitable. It's not exciting, in your face, glitz and glam, get your attention 5-second content. It's it's work. It's grinding. It's listening. It's writing down, taking notes, software, reading lines, doing all this stuff that people can do. But let's be honest, people are lazy.
Yeah, it's consistency. It's like you're in the gym a lot. I don't know. You guys can't really see it on here. This dude's absolutely yoked. But it's just like being in the gym. Like the boring stuff works. The repetition, the consistency, it really is. Boring stuff is typically progress, and it's the same thing in sports betting. It's the same thing in a lot of, whatever industry you're in. A lot of the work and progress comes from just consistent, boring stuff, doing the same thing.
Absolutely, that's where confidence comes from, man. Confidence is just a byproduct of consistent implementation. You don't get that confidence to put $20,000 on a game or put 400 pounds on the bar in the gym unless you've been in there doing it, building up to that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way around it. There's no way around it. That's why everybody wants these $50 into $5,000 parlays to hit because that's a shortcut to them. That's easy money, small risk, high reward. That's just not the way to do it. That's not going to make you money long term.
The same way they want Ozempic or a 15-minute ad video. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just like the short way is never the right way with this kind of stuff. You really have to build into it. Yeah, that's great advice, and I think a lot of people could probably translate that into other areas. I've tried all the shortcuts when I was younger, man. There's really no shortcuts to success. The people that are at the top and the people that stay at the top for the longest period of time are simply outworking people on a consistent basis. Yeah, and it's not sexy every day. It's really mostly boring for 99% of the time. Then you get the one moment where you hit a huge play and it completely sets up your bankroll moving forward, or you finally look at yourself in the mirror in the gym and you're like, oh shit, I've been really putting it in there. It's like you really build up to those moments, but that's incredible advice. And if you're in the chat right now and you're like me who needs to be more consistent in their sports betting and in the gym, JV is obviously a great inspiration for those things.
I was talking about this with Dash just this morning, dude. It translates across the board, right? Your habits, your health, your relationships, your finance, your business, your habits extrapolate across the board. So if you think you could just slack off in every single area, but you're somehow going to make a lot of money, and you have one area you think you're just going to be able to excel in and bypass all your shitty habits, it's simply not the case. And on a long enough time scale, you're going to learn that the hard way. And I've learned that the hard way a million times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great advice. And shout out Dash, by the way. He might be in the chat right now, but Dash is the man.
Yo, Dash better be in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. He's a busy man, but I bet he's got it up on the side. He's usually pretty active in the chat. I know Lewis is in there right now, probably taking notes. Lou and I both need to take some notes, especially about the gym. But we're starting to get some in-office push-ups. We'll get some push-up contests going. We'll be
There we
more
go.
consistent, so you'll be a good motivation for us to get going. All right, you sent me one more game here, and then we'll wrap because we got baseball on TV, we got football coming up, we got a lot of stuff in. People got to get their bets in, but. You sent me Devils Senators. Devils are a -140 favorite. The total is sitting at 6.5. Is there a reason you sent me this game? Is anything sticking out to you here?
Has anybody noticed the trend in the games yet? Devils -145. They opened up -115 at Circa. It is a phenomenal split. 93% of the cash is on the Devils, and only 59% of the tickets are on the Devils. That line moved up for a reason. Now I saw Bovada has -145. Consensus looks like -135 on a couple books, -140, -145 in the retail books. I think this Devils team had a really disappointing season last year. They have a lot of talent, a lot of young talent. They're one of the youngest teams in the league. And just 2 seasons ago, they were one of the best teams in the league. They crushed the regular season 2 seasons ago. And last year, they were a massive, massive disappointment. I don't think they want that to happen again this year.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, I would love your insight. You handicap quite a bit of hockey. No official futures, no official bets, but if you're looking at the futures market right now, is there any team that sticks out to you value wise that you like right now?
I would have to jump on and check the lines right now, but
yeah. Then off the cuff, not even value, not even lines wise, team wise.
Okay. I think the Florida Panthers are looking great so far. I think the New York Rangers are looking good so far. They had the best freaking regular season last year, and they just couldn't come together in the playoffs. Their top guys couldn't score in the playoffs for some reason last year. I don't know what it is. But I'm looking at those teams to have another good year. Tampa Bay Lightning, they're also looking pretty solid. Andrew asked me this on Twitter the other day, early NHL Stanley Cup pick, and I sent him a meme of the Avalanche. And obviously they're starting off 0-4 or 0-3, but they made me a lot of money last year. They were a great high-flying scoring team last year, especially at home.
Yeah, for sure. That's good to know. I will keep an eye on those. I had some hockey guys, hockey guy and a lady, Johnny and Sarah. Shout out to you guys. They gave me some futures. I think some of those were mentioned as well. So I might have to actually lock a couple in. You also mentioned earlier at the beginning of this about a World Series future. I guess if we're looking at a future right now, weird to say at this point in the season, but it is still a future. Is there a team that you're looking at right now that you might take some early money on?
So Caden just DM'd me this right as we jumped on who's winning the World Series. And I think someone texted me a day or two ago, or 2 or 3 days ago, I saw the Yankees were +125 to win the World Series. And then a day later, they were -105 or -110 to win the World Series. And Judge can't hit in the postseason. But their pitching, I think, has really been what's saving them. But also, I think if they're in the National League, I don't know if they have. I don't know if they're maybe not making it to the World Series. I mean, they have a bunch of talent. I think the Dodgers have more talent, and I think the Yankees are very fortunate to have this walk in the park schedule to get into the World Series.
Well, they are down 2-1 right now. Guardians scored 2, so that might flip. Obviously, New York's up 2-0 in the series right now, but if the Guardians can pull one out here, that might get spicy. But yeah,
absolutely.
I don't see how. Yeah.
And I grew up a Yankees fan, and I had a lean on the Guardians money line today. I didn't bet it or I didn't send it out or anything, but I really would not hate. I wouldn't mind seeing the Guardians get a win at home tonight. Make the series a little more interesting and really see what the Yankees are made of. Because if Judge really can't pull it together offensively in the postseason, I don't know what he's going to do in the World Series against Dodgers pitching.
Yeah. Yeah, he might get the Clayton Kershaw treatment of you're the best player in the MLB in the regular season, and then you just fall off immediately when things get big. You did mention something earlier. Now I'm curious because you mentioned that you were a Yankee fan growing up. You said you love the teams and root for the teams that make you the most money. Are you still able to have fandom separated from sports betting, or has sports betting kind of taken you out of the more emotional fan side of consuming sports?
Oh, absolutely. I grew up a Yankees fan, a Giants fan, a Knicks fan. they could go all the way and all three of them could win the championship in their leagues, or they could lose every single game of the season. I don't give a fuck. I actually find myself not really betting. Like, I'm rarely betting on the Yankees. I'm rarely betting on the Knicks. I'm rarely betting on the Giants. But that's not because I grew up a fan of them. It's just because just the way things work out with finding value. Yes, I have been, ever since I started making money betting sports, I took my sports hats and jerseys and threw them in the trash can. I don't care. Yep. I'm not a fan. I'm not going to the game rooting for the Yankees because I just want them to win because I'm some sort of Yankee fan. It's all about profit. It's all about business. All about money for me. It's crazy because some of my clients are real diehard fans of their teams, and they would rather like their team win a game, and they don't mind losing a bet, or they don't mind, like they care less about the bet, and more about the team. Which, I mean, good for the community. I get, keeps fans in the stands, keeps the business running for them, for the organization. But no, I don't care. I don't care about that.
Yeah. When I have my sports bettor cap on, I say the most you should do is an emotional hedge, where you bet against your favorite team, and worst case scenario, you come out with some profit, or however you look at it. You either get the win with your team, or you get a little bit of profit. One of the two. Or you don't get either. Your team loses, you lose your money. That's the worst spot to be in, possibly.
Exactly. So, yeah, bet against your favorite team. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You make money, or you're happy.
I sit here and say that, and then when Iowa plays Michigan State Saturday night, and I've got a couple
you're a massive Iowa guy.
Yeah, so as soon as that game starts, I'm going to see the black and gold. I'm going to say, yeah, we're winning this shit. I'm betting on them. So I say I'm emotionalist right now because I'm sitting here and I know that's correct, and then I get in front of my team, and I'm not as sharp as you. I can't turn it off. So maybe I'll work on that this Saturday. Maybe I'll try and stay away from it. That's incredible advice.
It's easily been turned off for years for me.
Yes, I need some of that discipline. Yeah. Well, JV, you've been awesome, man. I think the chat has learned a lot from you today in just a small amount of time. And
how many viewers? Let
me check right here. 713. So great chat. The chat was active today. Do we
want to give them a free NFL play for Sunday, or a free NFL system? What are we doing?
Always. If you got some, absolutely.
What does the chat want to see? What do they want? Do they want a free NFL bet, or a 61% NFL system that's been 61% over the past 15 seasons? What do the people want?
I'm curious about the system. Let's see what the chat has to say. It's honestly so slow loading. I want to hear the system personally. I might speak for the chat because we'll do this. System plays. When you talked about some of your college basketball systems, that got me perked up. So I got to hear this one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I got a free NFL system for you guys today. This is hitting 61% in the last 15 seasons of NFL. Right? If you just blindly bet this every time it pops up, you're hitting 61%. All right. In the NFL, when is the conference game? Has to be a conference matchup, right? So basically, a system is a series of factors that, when all checked off, have this concrete ROI and concrete win percentage over 15 to 25 years of data. Every system is different. This system is backed by 15 years of data. All right, so over conference game, number one, has to be a conference matchup. Number two, the game has to be played outside. Has to be an outdoor game, can't be played in a dome, and it cannot be has to be played in the United States. Any neutral site territories in London or anywhere else they're playing games, cross it off. Conference game played outside, the average wind speeds during the game have to be 13 miles an hour or more. When all those three things are checked off, that under is hitting 61% of the time. Now, if the home team is a favorite, could be -1, could be -15. That home team is a favorite, that 61% goes up to 63%, and that's good for 15 seasons, the last 15 years.
If you're in the chat and you're maybe new to betting, there's a lot of people out there that will say, I'm 70%, I'm 80%, all these things. To be even in profit at all in sports betting is incredibly difficult. And to find something that's 61, jumps to 63, hanging around there, that is insane value long-term and incredibly hard to capture that kind of consistent winning. So Is there a game on Sunday that meets that criteria?
I can't say that. They're gonna have to go check for themselves. But I can say I believe this system was 13-1 last season in the NFL. So obviously 61% over 15 seasons. But when I have systems like 61% or more that pop up and the line movement makes sense for me and the cash tickets distribution makes sense for me, that's a game I'm going $15,000-$20,000 on when that pops up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, that those spots, you got to be rooting against the movement of building, having every team playing a dome, because that might take away a huge edge for you if they start getting rid of open fields. So, well, yeah, I mean, if it was 13-1 last year, it might be trending up for who knows what reason. Maybe just lines are higher.
Yeah, well,
a lot of more penalties.
I think with the big influx of public betting, I mean, you see it. Everybody even when it comes to props, everyone wants to take the over. Passing yards over, rushing yards over, receiving yards over, anytime touchdown. The public drastically overestimates how good the good teams are and drastically underestimates how bad the bad teams are. So when the public's just hammering the over, Vegas loves that. When they're always betting overs, they're not making these lines to what the actual line should be. They're making the lines to what the perceived public line should be and what these people are going to come in and bet the over on. Not to mention they're going to over in these 5, 6, 7 leg parlays. So that just helps me out. That helps the sharps out a lot when the public is just all over the favorites and the overs.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in these, now that FanDuel and DraftKings are sponsoring pregame shows, which is crazy to me. You have on Amazon Prime tonight, there will be a parlay built by the pregame shows, Tony Gonzalez and Fitzpatrick and Richard Sherman. They're going to build a parlay. It's going to be all overs. You see any Prize Picks commercial, every single screenshot is more. There's a reason that a lot of casuals do not win money, and it's because they're betting for entertainment and they're betting to see their favorite player.
Books are printing money off of that. And dude, if you log into FanDuel or DraftKings right now, you can see they have 30 built-in automatic same-game parlays set up for you to take. They'll send ads to your phone saying,
what could go wrong?
Yes, they're they'll say Bo Nix over passing yards, game over, favorite to cover, and Kamara rushing yards, and Kamara anytime touchdown. The same game parlay, we're boosting the odds by 10%. All you have to do is press add to bet slip, and the whole parlay is already in your bet slip. Bet it right now. Come on.
Yeah, no. And at this point, if you don't see through it,
everybody's buying into it.
Great point. Guys, there's not Lewis and Dash always say this. I think it's a great quote. There's not super tall, beautiful buildings in Vegas because Vegas doesn't know a thing or two. There's a reason for that. So, guys, if you haven't liked what you've heard, you probably haven't been listening, because JV has dropped some knowledge today on life, on betting, on splits, on a bunch of different things that are super valuable. And I have now met you and talked to you a couple times where I feel like I've learned a lot. So his DubClub is right underneath the stream. Go subscribe. He's going to be making more content on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter now that I've been on his ass about it. So I'm happy for that. But
bro, keep pressuring me on that Twitter, bro.
Yeah, I will. I absolutely will, because I know that you're the type of guy that needs to be engaging more with the community. There's some people that do it a lot, and we need more people like you who are going to be honest with the community. So I really appreciate you hopping on here, man. You've been fantastic. You've given a lot of knowledge to the people. And guys, if you want more JV, go subscribe to his YouTube, follow him on Twitter, Instagram, and most importantly, subscribe to his DubClub.
Let's do it, man. Appreciate everybody watching, tuning in tonight. We had a decent turnout, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody, go jump on his DubClub and take that free play under in Sabres Blue Jackets, correct?
Yes. Or yes.
Under 6.5 in that game.
Yep.
All right, JV.
In the last 7 free plays, man. Let's get another one.
I'm tailing. All right. I appreciate you, JV. Thanks for hopping on, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Have a good night.
You too. I just stopped it. We're not live anymore.